Hey kiddos, welcome to session 6 of your fairy tale writing. Today our focus is going to be on making sure that you figure out an ending that solves the character's big problems. So we know from watching different movies and also from reading many different books that usually the author ends the story in a really impactful way. So today you're going to be working on making that revision or even just making that ending for your fairy tale story. But before I ask you to kind of go off and do that on your own, I wanted to give you a few examples of creative endings that you might want to add into your fairy tale. So the first one is actually coming from our class text, which was The Prince Cinders, and this ending goes like this. It says, whom she turned into house fairies and they flitted around the palace doing the housework forever and ever. So it's this idea of like this never-ending ending, really. It's kind of like happily ever after, which is a classic one that I know a lot of you are using in your writing from reading your drafts. So you might end your story with some sort of like never-ending sentence like that. This was another one. This comes from Hegety Peg, which if you haven't read Hegety Peg, it's one of my favorites. But this ending says, and Hegety Peg jumped off the bridge and was never seen again. So it doesn't necessarily say that like she dies, even though I know a lot of you in your stories are having the bad character sort of not be alive at the end. But they leave off this ending that like she was never seen again. And we see that a lot also in the Three Little Pigs stories. And so this is one that you've probably read before, the Three Little Pigs. And so this ending goes, the wolf stayed too, but there was no more huffing and no more puffing, and he was hardly ever bad again. So it's this idea, right, that you might have a sentence that sort of ends your story in a way that's like more like your narrative stories, or you might have more of a fairy tale ending, which is usually something that says, and never seen again, or and they lived happily ever after. So today, what I'm wanting you to do is I want you to go back and I want you to revise your piece and make sure that you have an ending that solves the character's problems. Happy writing!